So this is first time streaming, and yes, let's see how does this gonna work and stream. So I am streaming in Symphony Kitchens. And what are we doing today? Today we're streaming live kitchen design, and I wanted to go over the details. This is a drawing of the kitchen that we have finalized with the client. We spent a lot of time making sure that the design is laid out the way they want it to be laid out. We analyzed every corner, every situation. The clients went back home. We went over many different revisions and different ideas and different accessories, and then months of work we came up to kind of a final design where the clients are happy with the layout, they like the way things turned out, and we are going forward with this design, with this layout. Everybody's on the same page. They thought of the whole process, they liked what they saw, and they're excited. They're very excited about the whole design. They're very excited about their kitchen and how things are going to be. So every cabinet in this kitchen has its specific requirements. Everything has its place, its spot, and it just works. So for example, so in today's live stream, what I'm doing is basically, this is what the clients see, this is what they have, and this gives a visual of overall design and gives understanding where things are located. But now this is an arts and crafts kitchen, so all of this will be made out of quarter sawn oak, so everything has to be very detailed, and this is something that we don't see behind the scenes. This is something that we have to do on a back end, and I have to specify this, do the detailed drawings, make sure to figure out all the posts, all the panels, how things are going to connect, and how is it gonna all work out. And that's what I wanted to do. So basically, after doing all these revisions, meeting with clients, when the design is finalized and it goes into production, we work out a AutoCAD drawing, and this is what I'm working on today, because this design is done. When we have the details, AutoCAD drawing takes a lot of time, and detailing all this information takes a lot of time. So we need to basically I wanted just to show that, and at the same time go over the information and just explain, as I draft this kitchen, explain what's happening in the whole process. So we're going back now. I'm going to disconnect the 3D drawing and show you. We're going to go into AutoCAD. So this is the first stream, so I'm sorry if I could have technical difficulties. There you go. So whatever you've seen in 2020 design, now this is AutoCAD. So AutoCAD, first thing first, where do we begin? We start with the floor plan. So floor plan, we're able to understand, analyze the situation, check all the clearances, and see if things are going to be working the way we designed it in 3D. So this is all to confirm and check all the stuff and make sure everything is working the way we want it to be working. And now we're going to be detailing the information in elevation. So first we have the pantry, then we have a paneled fridge, we have the drawers that's already sketched in here, then we have a dishwasher, we have a big garbage pullout, sink cabinet, then we have the Lamont's mechanism in the corner. And in the AutoCAD drawing is where I go into details, into specifications of all the appliances and the sink and accessories, and making sure it's all going to fit inside the cabinets and it's all going to work, and how things are going to open, and make sure that drawers are not hitting something, handles, and things are going to be flowing in the kitchen, because you're making this kitchen, it's custom, and you don't want it to be something hitting, or where you have to be careful, you have to watch other stuff. You want the kitchen to flow, you want it to have just a beautiful experience. You don't want to be like struggling with the layouts. In order to do that, it's a lot of back end work where we have to make sure that all the information is considered. So now, so I did basically the sink elevation, and now I'm gonna go into the stove elevation. So I'm just gonna flip this around, and let's see. Like I said, this is not a 2-minute process. It's time consuming, and basically every single kitchen that we make is exactly the same process. It's just drafting, redrawing, making sure that things are lining up. There's no standard template, and nowadays everybody thinks that I just press a button, things are appear in your house, because everything is so fast now that nobody understands that things take time. It just you go, you see you see people on YouTube just boom boom 15 minutes and kitchen is done, and that's not how the reality works, and that's not even close. So in order to get that beautiful effect, it's a lot of back and forth clicking and making sure that things are lining up and things are working, and it's an exciting process for me, and maybe it's not exciting process to watch, but this is something that I love to do. It's something that takes a lot of time, and that's why I wanted to do more of these streams to kind of show that it's a process that takes a lot of time. And every kitchen that we design, and if it's custom, you start with the beautiful 3D drawing, and even that, in order to figure out the 3D drawing, it takes a lot of time and effort and understanding of thinking of the process and how the client is gonna use it. How are you gonna use it? What's working? What's not working? You know what I mean? Kind of using all this information, listening to the client, and understanding what are their kind of wishes and wants and ideas, and then converting that into a 3D drawing. So that's also a very time-consuming process, and not everybody can do it, and it's not a 2-minute thing, just boom boom and done, which again, since it's custom cabinets, you try to use every inch possible, so there's no so the clients get the best yield out of their space basically, and you have to listen. A lot of it is, for me, is listening and understanding what this client really needs, what they're what doesn't work in their current kitchen, what are they lacking, and how do we adjust it, and which way do I recommend, because a lot of these designs I come with the basic open slate, so a lot of it is just a tear down, or they just, like this particular client, they cleaned everything out, and they just came in, they called, and they said, what, here's our kitchen space, and do whatever you need to do to make it functional, interesting, and here's a bunch of pictures how we want it to look. So you look at that and you're like, okay, so you have 4 walls, and you can position things wherever you want, and being a custom shop, your options are whatever sizes you can do, and there's just so many different possibilities and different options that you can create. But again, at the same time, it all has to make sense for the client, and everybody's different, everybody entertains differently, everybody spends their time in the kitchen differently. Some people have kids, some people don't have kids, some people don't entertain, others entertain a lot. People have private cooks, people privately cook, and there's just so many different variations. I mean, over the years and years, I just see it's a never-ending learning experience of learning from my clients, and saying, well, this worked, this didn't, and now it's my job to transfer all this knowledge to my clients and make sure that they get the best out of their space. and they get the best out of their design and layout, and a lot of times it's guiding them through the little things and just making them understand, yes, this is a good idea, this, and then no, some of these ideas might not work. Maybe let's experiment, maybe let's not experiment. So it's just a whole exciting, interesting process that of creating this design. And like I said, with this particular clients, it was exciting to go through the whole thing, because we did a beautiful kitchen for their parents about 8 years ago, I think, and it turned out really nice. They are super happy with the end result. The kitchen was very exclusive, looked very different, and they obviously recommended us and to their kids, and they said that we're gonna make something interesting. And the client wanted this solid wood arts and crafts feel of a kitchen, and that's what we're creating. Shaker style doors, quarter sound oak. So it's gonna be a really cool, interesting design. Like, it's gonna be looking amazing, and besides looking amazing, we also wanted to obviously make it very, very functional, and that's what took quite a bit of time. And we sat down with them. We made probably 14 different revisions, 15, and the 15th is now the final design. That's what we created, and yeah, it's interesting now, getting into the stage where I'm making the CAD drawings, and this is the final stage, emailing this for clients approval. And if everything looks good, they will analyze this, and the next step is the production cut list, where I separate all these cabinets, all these doors, and make a separate detailed specification, double check all the measurements and of appliances, double check all the information before we start cutting all of this. So this is approximately, we're still gonna work a bit on the custom hood. So I think it's gonna be a painted hood finish, but we are not sure. They're still thinking on this little detail. So for now, I'm just gonna create a shaker panel, and maybe another shaker panel here. Offset 2.5, and again, I'm just offsetting. This is so that's our hood look. Probably we're doing a very clean, no light balance look, just to again keep that more of a clean line. We're trying to eliminate lines and extra things that are not required, and just keep it very simple, elegant, clean arts and crafts kitchen. So we have the two elevations, and basically they're pretty much done. What we do is, obviously now we need measurements, so we know what kind of what the sizes are, and so they can get a visual, and also check if they like the spacing and all the little details. Yeah, so there we go. So again, very symmetrical. That's another thing when I'm laying it out. We had a couple of different options for this, and it's a focal point. So I like symmetry. I think symmetry creates balance and adds interest to the overall look. So when things are symmetrical, it brings attention. It makes me more exciting. I'm not a big fan of asymmetrical designs, and a lot of my designs are very balanced and symmetrical, even though sometimes some of the clients like to throw it off and just be totally out of balance, and it's just not my thing. I'm not a big fan of that. I like more of a symmetrical, and as you see, the same thing we try to do here. So we have the sink, 18-inch door on the right, 18-inch door on the left. So a lot of the symmetry repeats in this design. We tried working the details that it's symmetrical. So, and it's not that easy, because you have your center of the window, so that's fixed. I cannot move that. and then we had to work out. So it only on version 15 we came up with this particular layout. It was a 30-inch sink. Then we had a 36-inch sink. It was back and forth into different sizes and different options until it became like, whoa, yes, this is exactly what we want. This is what we like, and let's keep it. And slowly we came into a final version, and there's going to be another meeting where we finalize everything, and only then it goes into production. Only then we start making the cut list and making this all making some dust in the shop. So that's our panel ready fridge, pantry for additional storage, and yeah, so we had all the measurements. We have all the measurements here. This is a corner cabinet with the custom pullout. So this is going to be spatula pullout. Also a very interesting mechanism that a lot of clients really like. Very helpful. This is a hatch glass door. So I hatch it. So we have hatch. Okay, so we have this. We have the floor plan, and now it's one more. So I just copied this, mirror on this side, and off we go. We can rotate this. And let's move it here. So now I'm working on this elevation. So we have 26 inch and a half, 24 here. Offset 26. Okay, 24, and then 1.5. So that's our gable and rectangle. So there's these oversized gables. Now I'm gonna go, I'm also switching between the drawings, so I go back to my sketch. So I just wanted to see, so we're gonna have the client wants to, so these are lining up. Okay, this lining up, this is the fridge and freezer, and then so that's 30 inches. This one is lining up with this, so that's what they wanted to have. And okay, so that's our line here. So 15. Two drawers. This is two big drawers, two little ones, and now we have a single door. Delete, and a single door. 2.5 inch. So this is a 2.5 inch rail of the door, and again, that's another thing that we will confirm with the client, make sure that they're happy with the rail size. We could also do a 2-inch rail, smallest. So as you see, every little square, it's an action, it's a offset, it's a process, and it's not, nothing is drawn by itself, nothing is done by itself. It's a process that's not being appreciated, and a lot of, like I said, in industry right now, in the whole economy is moving, everything is fast. People have this idea that things are, automatic. Everybody's making money, millions of dollars, doing these things. Just products are printing themselves, and you can go to a store, you can order something, and you can eat half of it and then return it, or damage it and then return it. We're living in a crazy economy where having your own business is very exciting, and at the same time you have to adjust to this. You have to adjust to people saying, oh, come on, this is nothing, it's nothing. Why is it costing this much, or why is it so expensive? Well, because I mean, oh, my husband can do that. Well, if your husband can do that, then why you're calling me? Yeah, people have this idea. It's very easy to go on YouTube and just look it up, and and see how it's done, and just within 15 minutes the kitchen is installed, and it's simple, and it's beautiful, and it's nice, and I try that too sometimes. I like to experiment and explore, and I go and watch the videos, and I said, oh, wow, this looks interesting, this looks kind of easy, I never tried this before, let's try it. And then obviously the customer wants the fixed price, because you see the video, and obviously you see that it's not hard, so why don't you just let's fix the price, and that's it. Those type of projects usually where I lose money, and just because whatever somebody does, I mean, like I said, I could have recorded this video and make it a 1 minute video, because really nobody wants to watch this being designed, and how much time goes into this kitchen, and all this drafting, and a lot of clients just think it kind of appears by it's quickly done. And from my experience, I'm drafting much faster than a lot of the people that I hire draft, just because I don't have the time to spend on these drafting. So, and I know I could even be much faster than what it is, but everything is a process, and custom stuff is a process, and sometimes it's painful to have the people not understanding this process and not appreciating this process. And I understand everybody has a budget, everybody has their own way, everybody wants to save, but at the same time, some people are just over the they don't even want to think, because it's so easy to go and return and just use and abuse and throw it out, and everything is so fast. The information is at your fingertips. You go, you find it, you get it, and you're done. And if you don't like it, then just bring it back, and the company is gonna eat the return, and then this return has to be built into its price. Well, that's great when you're a big corporation and you're able to do that, and then everybody else is basically eating this eating up these returns into it's built into the next customer. There's no magic, but it's working. The economy is working. Everybody's used to this. Everybody likes this kind of outlook. I mean, it's convenient, right? And but again, sometimes being in business and producing a product that's custom, putting in the time and spending the energy, and really kind of being there, like being present, and thinking of the design, and just for me, it's not only just to bang it out. I just don't want to bang it out. I actually enjoy thinking and logically going through the process. I take a ton notes, and I go through a lot of details, and I ask a lot of questions, and I make people do templates. And I understand you're spending a lot of money, it's expensive, but I think it's worth it. I mean, I'm putting in my time, my energy into the work, and I mean, I'm working for the buck, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and there's these clients that I have that do appreciate it, and they love it, and they get the feedback. And then there's always those clients that are just gonna always, no matter how much you give them, they'll just push it to shit and just blame and then complain that you overcharged them, or they could have got something somewhere cheaper. And good luck to those people. I mean, that's is not there's nothing you can do if you're in this business. And you have to remember, we have to support each other, and understand that some a lot of there's a lot of BS companies that are just there for the money and just doing it. But if you're out there, you're honest, you're trying to make your business work, and you're trying to provide a good quality product, then it's harder. It's harder that you're not just there to bang bang get out. You've been there for many years. You've been putting the time. You've been getting, and the only thing that feeds me is the customer feedback, because it's first it's being profitable and finding the ways to be profitable, because that's also not the easiest thing, like I said, because a lot of in custom kitchens there's a lot of ideas that are just you can go, and we done jobs that look super simple, and then you end up losing a lot of money because it didn't happen. The project didn't work out the way you planned, and it ended up taking double the time, and you put a fixed price, and obviously the client is not paying for it because you put in a fixed price. So then you kind of either get a bad review, or you suck up the cost and just do it, which is not very nice. But then you get also clients that are super excited, and they're actually happy to pay extra, and they'll ask you, they say, listen, I know I'm being picky, and I'm doing this thing, and do you want, how much extra is it going to cost? They'll ask you. Some of them will avoid you. They'll go through the whole thing. They'll realize, and you'll tell them that it's not what you thought, but they'll just say, well, doesn't, sorry, a deal is a deal. And so yeah, but it's business. It's part of business. Somewhere you lose, somewhere you gain. It just like I said, it's time consuming, and I wanted to show it, see how it goes. And I wanted to connect with other creators who are making stuff, and they're just not there for get out business. They're creating stuff, and they're not getting appreciation back. And there's happy and unhappy business producers out there, and again, I have both worlds and experience in both. Чекай, зараз. How do you pause this? Okay, so it just turns out that it's offset 12. I'm just gonna finish up this island quick. And that's it, offset 2.5. So this is finishing up the island, and that's another fun part of business, that you have to work long hours, and it's exciting. If you like what you're doing, I'm sure it's exciting. If you don't like what you're doing, it's stressful. So right now it's 10:30 p.m. and I'm pumped to work and do this, but we're gonna finish this for today. The stream is over. Thanks for watching, whoever was watching. Bye.